Hi, I'm Will from Tested.
I'm Norm from Tested.
Norm, it is 2012.
Took my New Year remark.
2012.
Wow. Amazing. It's the first quick look of the new year.
Yeah, how did that happen?
I don't know. But today we have some real products.
Not headsets.
No, definitely not.
Exciting stuff.
Cameras.
Yeah, so we looked at one of the first, well, I want to call them Micro Four Thirds, but you say they're mirrorless.
No, yeah. Micro Four Thirds describes the sensor size.
Okay.
Mirrorless, interchangeable lens cameras. That's more the product category.
So these are the tweeners. These are between a DSLR and a point and shoot.
They are the sparkly tweeners.
Okay.
So last year we took a quick look at the Sony NEX-C3. And I thought it was really great. It's so good that I bought one.
You didn't just buy one by the
I
company.
committed. Yes, full disclosure.
I don't know.
Today we have the Panasonic GF3. It's the latest in their line of Micro Four Thirds. Now these are actually these are real Micro Four Thirds cameras.
Does this mean it's 4/3 of an inch sensor, or is it 4/3 of a normal sensor? What's the 4/3?
Micro Four Thirds is 1 1/3. Don't think about it too hard. So Panasonic and Olympus they've jointly created this new.
It's a team.
Yeah, this new sensor category and lens, Micro Four Thirds. There's actually plenty of lenses.
Oh, so Panasonic and Olympus lenses will both work on Panasonic and Olympus
Micro
cameras.
Four Thirds lenses.
Convenient.
The sensor is a little bit smaller than what you'll find in the NEX-C3, which is an APS-C sensor, same size as a DSLR.
Okay.
But both are not full-frame sensors. So
how does the sensor actually? Yeah, I mean, I don't care how big the pictures get. I want them to look awesome. How awesome are they?
They look really good. Daytime pictures, well-lit pictures look amazing. And what's really nice about this is that it's so small. It's actually smaller than the NEX-C3.
And you have on the NEX-C3 right now, you have the wide-angle lens, not the zoom.
So this kit lens is 2.8, 16 millimeter.
Okay.
And again, with the crop, it's more of an effective 24 millimeter.
Okay.
The aperture is 2.8, which is larger than the 3.5 that I have in the other lens.
Okay.
It's comparable to this one. Now, this is a zoom lens, actually.
Okay.
It's not the Pancake.
Ooh.
It's a 14 to 42, so it actually starts at 14 millimeter, wider than this.
Okay.
Goes to 42 millimeter, zooms in. This one actually, not only is it small, but has a lot of really user-friendly features, including a touchscreen.
Ooh, the Sony doesn't have a touchscreen.
No, not the C3. The 5N has a touchscreen. But the GF3 is not only small, they kind of moved most controls over from the GF1 to GF2 to the touchscreen.
So they used to have a D-pad or something like that?
This still has D-pad, fewer manual controls.
Okay.
So, for example, switching between your PASM modes, your program aperture shutter manual modes. Of
course.
It's all done on the
touchscreen.
And as opposed to a physical dial.
So there's kind of pros and cons to that. That means you actually have to be able to look at it when you're adjusting that stuff.
Yes.
But for the most part, those settings are things you set at the beginning of a session and then don't touch,
And very
right?
user-friendly.
Okay.
And so Panasonic has a new camera, the GX1, which actually has the manual dials. This is geared more toward people who are more accustomed to point and shoots. Okay. And just want, there are a lot of assistive auto modes.
Is this the same price range as the Sony?
Yeah, almost exactly the same price with this Pancake lens, $500. But the sensor is a little bit smaller, but I would say more feature comparable. Yes. So actually, let's take a look at the touchscreen and show how it works.
Yeah, I want to see this.
All right, so here are the controls, and as you can see, the 3-inch the touchscreen takes up most of the controls. You do have a dial on the side, and it is a resistive touchscreen. So
one impact.
Yeah, if you're used to like an iPhone focusing, and just quickly tapping, it's not that. You do get to tap to focus. So for example, I have a finger here, and you see it pops up, and it takes about a second to find the focus. It's not immediate.
And will it face detect that stuff too? So once you tap on the
face
face you want to focus on, it'll stick with that person.
Yes.
Okay.
It'll do face detection. You can do tap to focus. I actually found that tap to focus wasn't all that great. The manual focus assist helps the most. So what I can also do.
So there's no ring focus or anything like that.
No,
this is how you have to focus.
Well, no, there is a manual focus on the lens.
Oh, okay.
It's not a ring focus. It's just a slider.
Okay.
So for example, it does have assistive focus. I can just hold down the button, shutter halfway, and it focuses, and then I can manual focus. And what I like is that it has this picture-in-picture mode. So, for example, on this face, I can zoom all the way in. I can get that in focus, and then I think that's
zoom back out.
Take a shot, as opposed to take up the entire screen, so you lose your composition.
Oh, okay.
And it's really cool because that picture-in-picture actually moves around on the big screen.
Cool.
I didn't think the LCD was that great quality. It's 3 inches. It's 460K dots. It's about 480 by 320 dots, or
so
like some pixels.
600 megapixels, 0.6 megapixels or something.
Yeah, something like that. and then the Sony one actually has 920K dots. I thought it was a little higher resolution.
Is the Sony an OLED as well, or
It's not an OLED.
It's not an OLED. Okay.
Just an LCD. So the other menus are on the side, and there's only one programmable button. I'll show you. There's some fixed buttons on the side, so you can change your autofocus mode, and then you can change your white balance, which is very handy. Like I mentioned before, you can't change the PASM mode unless on a physical die. You actually have to hit the button on the screen, which resistive focus, and tap it just a little hard. There it goes, and then you can rotate. I have it on aperture mode, which I like. And there is no dedicated button for ISO. I actually have to program that in. On the bottom, there is one quick menu or function button, and you can program that to a bunch of different options.
Okay.
And I have it set to ISO because I like having low ISO shots.
How often you adjust ISO a lot? Normal
I do.
people
A
may
lot.
not.
Yeah. What I do like also is that you can set up max auto ISO. So for example, on my camera, most of the shots I take, it takes 1600 ISO because it's low noise anyway.
Yeah.
On here, I can cap the ISO to 800. I can cap it even higher.
So auto, but within the parameters you define.
Within my parameters. Low light photography, I thought, was still a little grainy, and that's largely because it's a micro four thirds sensor. At high ISO, about 800 or 1600, it's pretty grainy. But I think in the daytime, for fast action shots with continuous focus, it's a really, really good camera. And again, it is really small, the body as a whole.
Okay, so that touch controls you like or don't like? I mean, it doesn't have a pivotable screen.
Yeah, the screen doesn't pivot out. I think they're handy. I think it's really good for people who are familiar with using an iPhone and want to get into better photos. Definitely for people moving up from a point and shoot as opposed to down from a bulkier DSLR.
Right. Well, I mean, this isn't going to replace your DSLR if you already have one. This is just to give you something more portable, jacket pocket friendly, maybe.
Exactly. With this lens and even the smaller pancake lens, definitely jacket pocket friendly, not pants pocket friendly.
Okay.
It also does video. I think the video options are much more robust than on the Sony XC3. It does 1080p video, it does motion JPEGs. Unfortunately, the audio on the video is not that great.
Well, it's just only a condenser mic, right?
It's only a mono audio. They reduced it from a stereo, and there is no hot shoe or accessory port because all you have is the flash on top, so you can't get better audio. You have to record that
Bummer.
separately.
Okay.
Yeah, so I wouldn't use this either for dedicated
720p video though, just like
720p
the Sony?
progressive, 1080i as well. I think definitely don't buy a point and shoot is the lesson learned from looking at all these mirrorless cameras. Don't get a point and shoot unless you really want good, optical zoom or something. The bigger sensor in the Micro Four Thirds and the APS-C sensor in the Sony just prove that these small cameras, pocketable, image quality looks great. Definitely do your research again. But this is the Panasonic GF3 available now.
Around $500, $475.
Yep.
Seems pretty good.
Yep, it is pretty good.
Would you buy the Sony? If I'm buying one of these, should I buy this or the Sony?
I can't answer that for you.
I guess until next time, I'm Will.
I'm Norm.
Bye.